Here we see the block down being performed by an elite player. Note the position of the head, hands and feet. Now let's look at each of the key teaching points for the block down. Stand close to the opponent in the check position. As the opponent prepares to play the ball, reach forward with the arms outstretched and hands close together. Keep your eyes on the ball. Block the ball at the point of contact with the boot. Move to regain possession ahead of the opponent. This basic drill to practice the block down technique is designed to familiarise the players with the feeling of blocking the ball. Each player has a ball. In a kneeling position, the players bounce the ball firmly off the ground, spreading their hands to block the ball as it bounces back up. Progress the drill by getting the players to stand and toe tap the ball to themselves, spreading the arms and hands to block the ball as it leaves the foot. This basic drill to practice the block down technique introduces an opponent. Divide the group into pairs, one ball per pair. Ensure each pair has adequate space to perform the technique in a stationary position. Player A toe taps the ball for player B in a kneeling position to block as the ball leaves the foot. Progress the drill by getting player B to stand. Eventually, challenge the blocker to step into the block from a metre or so away to improve their timing. Reverse the roles after a designated time. This drill is particularly effective in improving the confidence of the player in performing the block down. This is an intermediate drill to practice the block down technique, which requires the players to perform the block while moving. Divide the group into pairs, one ball per pair. Mark out 2 cones, 5 to 8 metres apart for each pair. The player in possession moves forward along the line to kick the ball at the far cone. The blocking player travels alongside and attempts to block the ball at the cone. Providing a target or player for the kicker to aim at will help improve the success of the drill. Reverse the roles after a designated time. This is an intermediate drill to practice the block down technique. Divide the players into groups of 5. 4 of the players stand at intervals of 5 metres apart, one ball per player. The blocker, beginning at one end of the line, moves to block each player in sequence. Rotate the blocker after each sequence. To increase the difficulty of the drill, the blocker must increase the pace at which they move through the sequence. As the players become more confident, the blocker may be required to dive to block each kick. This is an intermediate drill to practice the block down technique. Mark out a grid, approximately 5 metres square, using cones. On a signal, player A, positioned 10 metres to one side of the grid, kick passes the ball to player B, positioned in the grid. Player B, on receiving the ball, must turn around one of the corner cones of the grid before attempting to kick the ball to player D. Player C, beginning 5 metres to the other side of the grid, attempts to block player B from completing the pass. Repeat a set number of times before changing the feeders. This is a fun game to develop the block down technique. Mark out a grid, approximately 40 meters by 20 meters using cones. Divide the grid into 4 sections. Divide the players into pairs, 1 pair per section. One of each pair is a member of the same team. The team with the ball attempts to retain possession by kicking the ball from section to section. The opposing team attempts to block the kicks of their opponents. If the kick is blocked, that team gains possession. If the kick is successful, that team must be allowed to retain possession. This is a gameplay drill to develop the blocking technique, which requires the players to block down an attacking player as they shoot for a score. Mark out a defensive zone or grid approximately 10 to 15 meters from goal. An attacking player solos from further out the field to kick for a score from inside the defensive zone. A defensive player enters the zone from either side to block the attacking player as they attempt to complete their kick. The defensive player should alternate coming from the right and the left of the attacking player. This is a gameplay drill to develop the block down technique. Place a cone approximately 40 meters directly out from the goalposts. Place a second cone, approximately 20 meters from goal, to one side of the goal. Divide the players into pairs, 1 defender and 1 attacker. Each attacker, in turn, solos towards goal, shadowed by the defender. Once within shooting range, the attacker attempts to shoot for a point, and the defender attempts to block. Reverse the roles after a set number of attempts. Shying away from contact is a common error when learning the block down technique. To correct this error, introduce the player to the contact situation in a slow and controlled manner. Missing the ball as it passes between the outstretched arms is a common error when performing the block down technique. To correct this error, keep the hands close together, moving confidently to block the ball at the point of contact with the ball. Closing the eyes when attempting to perform the block down is another common error. This may result in the player missing the block as they fail to react to the direction of the kick. To correct this error, ensure that the player keeps their eyes open, focusing on the ball at the point of contact.